All right, let's get right into it. If you're a data professional, you already know the field is packed with talent. So how do you actually prove that you're at the top of your game? That's exactly what we're going to break down today, focusing on one of the toughest but most rewarding certifications out there, the Databricks Certified Data Engineer Professional Exam. And that's really the core question, isn't it? The data world is booming, which is great, but it also means there's a ton of competition. Just saying you have the skills on your resume, well, it's not always enough. You need something that clearly demonstrates you can handle the really tough, complex data problems. And that, my friends, is where a certification like this comes in. So, why put yourself through the ringer for this specific certification? What's the actual return on all that time and effort you're going to invest? Let's talk about the payoff, because it's pretty significant.
Let's start with a number that tends to get everyone's attention. Yep, that's the average annual salary for a Databricks data engineer over in the US, according to recent data. Now, of course, this can vary based on your location, your experience, and all that, but it's a powerful signal of the financial value tied to mastering these professional-level skills. But honestly, it's so much more than just the paycheck. Getting this certification gives you instant credibility. It's like a stamp of approval that tells the industry you're ready for senior roles in serious challenges. Just the process of studying for it forces you to sharpen your skills, and it really validates that you know your stuff. It basically future-proofs your career. Okay, so the why is crystal clear. The rewards are there. Now let's get into the what. What are you actually signing up for? What does this exam gauntlet look like? Here are the hard facts. You're looking at about 60 multiple-choice questions, and you've got 120 minutes to get through them. So about 2 minutes per question. The official passing score is a 70%. But honestly, everyone who's taken it will tell you to aim for at least an 80% to be safe. And here's the kicker. It's $200 per try, and there are no free retakes. That pressure is real, and it means you've got to be ready to pass on your first attempt. So where should you focus your study time? Well, the chart makes it pretty obvious. Just look at that huge slice of the pie for data processing. At 30%, that is the single biggest chunk of the exam. This tells you everything you need to know. Becoming an expert at building and managing ETL pipelines isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely non-negotiable. And this is super important. Listen to what Databricks themselves are telling you. This exam is not for beginners. They are explicitly recommending at least a year of real, hands-on experience. Why? Because the questions aren't just about theory. They test your ability to solve the kind of messy, practical problems that you only encounter when you're actually doing the work. All right, so we know the prize, and we know the challenge. Now for the most important part. Let's build your blueprint for success. How do you actually prepare for this thing and walk away with the pass? Let's keep it simple with a 4-step battle plan. First, and this is no surprise, you have to get your hands dirty. Spend a lot of time in the platform, building things, breaking things, and fixing things. Second, stick to the official resources. They're your source of truth. Third, take every practice test you can find. They're the best way to figure out where you're weak. And finally, you have to become a master of the core tech: PySpark, Spark SQL, and Delta Lake. And to be even more specific, these are the resources you should probably bookmark right now. Your Bible is the official exam guide, period. Then, you absolutely need to check out the Databricks Academy, especially their advanced data engineering course. And don't sleep on the community forums. You can find some absolute gold nuggets of wisdom in there from people who've already been through the trenches. Okay, we've gone over the what and the how. Now it's time for a quick dose of reality. We need to talk about what this certification is, and maybe even more importantly, what it isn't. So let's just bust a huge myth right off the bat. If you're thinking, I passed the associate exam, this will just be a small step up, I have to warn you, you are in for a serious shock. The reality is, the leap from associate to professional is massive. The questions are way more detailed, way more granular, and they are almost entirely based on solving complex, real-world scenarios. And let's be really clear about the big picture. This certification is not a substitute for real experience. It's a complement to it. It's also not a golden ticket that guarantees you a job. You still need a portfolio of solid projects. You absolutely can't just memorize some facts and pass this thing. And finally, it's not a one-and-done deal. You've got to recertify every 2 years to prove you're keeping your skills sharp. Because the job itself doesn't stop when you pass the test. Out in the real world, you're constantly fighting with things like managing cloud costs, hunting down performance bottlenecks, and just trying to keep up with the insane pace of innovation.
This certification is really the starting line, not the finish line. It proves you're ready for the race.
So there you have it. You've seen the rewards, you've seen the difficulty, and you've got a blueprint for how to succeed. You know exactly what it takes. So the only real question left to ask is, are you ready to take on the challenge that could absolutely define your career this year?